We got 140 yards here. The pin's pretty much right in the middle of the green. So, you know, I'm trying to pretty much land it right next to the hole. I've got my pitching wedge, which is about anywhere between 145 and 150 yards. So I'm gonna have to take a little bit off the pitching wedge, but I like hitting a little fade. And with the golf ball, I'm just looking for it to be a little flatter from this distance and move a little left to right. I would say a great look on the green is anything from 20 feet and in from this distance is a great shot. Flat cut, that's the one we're looking for. There's a certain window that a lot of us like to see with a certain club, and I've got my pitching wedge, and you know, I expect to see a certain window, and that last shot we got that window, so that was nice. I've got 100 yards. I've got my 56 degree, which is about 115 yards stock club. So I've got to take a little bit off it. I always like flighting the wedges, so flight this down and fly something past the hole, and that ridge should bring it back towards it. It's easier to control the distance as it stays closer to the ground. So I just see the flatter one, and then on the green, it's got more spin. So actually, the higher you launch it, it actually has less spin. The lower you launch it, actually has more. So I'm looking for kind of that flatter one that has just a little bit more spin. You hit it from the fairway, you can predict the ball flight and spin a lot easier. Just hitting from the short grass. When you're in rough, you got to read the lie, and a lot of times it'll surprise you. It could come out dead, could come out hot. So it makes it a lot different when you're hitting from the rough. I'm not going to get too cute here and try and get too creative on flighting it and different things like that. Those shots I think are more for the fairway. Here, the most important thing is good contact, and just let the ball do what it does. Down a little bit. Yeah, definitely had less spin than from the fairway, but that's right in the middle of the green. We'll take that. Yeah, well, I've got my 60 degree here. We've got about a 25-yard pitch to an elevated green. This shot doesn't really allow for much of a bump and run, so I'm gonna have to fly something on the green. And that's where it can, I think, get tricky for some amateurs. But, you know, if you allow yourself to use the proper ball to put the right amount of spin on it, you know, you can get away with these type of shots. And I'll just try and demonstrate for you here. I think you ball first in this type of shot, and weight on the left side. You know, I think weight on the lead foot is always a must when you're hitting a chip shot. And then you just allow the club and the ball to do the work for you. When you're chipping, you want everything to move towards the target. It just makes it a lot easier to get the back of the ball and make that consistent strike. So I would say, you know, you got to have that weight forward, you know, and it's every time I chip, it's pretty easy for me to just lift my right foot up. If you have a hard time kind of lifting your right foot up as you chip, then you know you're probably not having enough weight towards that left side. For me, the feel of the golf ball right at impact is very important, and also the sound. I think they go hand in hand for me. And then seeing the flight, I think, is a huge part of it. Yeah, the golf balls to me is everything. I think it's the #1 piece of equipment that we have.